Li Ruobing's brother, Li Ruotai, the eldest son in the Li family, is completely shocked seeing his sister Li Ruobing and the young man Wu Chen so close. Seeing them so close, he thinks as to whether his sister Li Ruobing pregnant with Wu Chen being the child's father. Li Ruotai, seeing his sister and Wu Chen so close, thinks that Wu Chen is just an average guy in terms of his looks. Neither the most handsome man nor a bad-looking man. So, he gets suspicious as to why is his sister going out with an average young man like Wu Chen, who is in his early 20s, whereas her taste is clearly in men older than her age. Li Ruotai gets concerned for her sister, thinking that maybe Wu Chen is deceiving his sister and wants to use her by making her fall in love. As, according to him, love can sometimes make people completely blind and make them so crazy that then think nothing except love. Li Ruotai, being concerned, is now desperate to save his sister from the young man Wu Chen. So, he questions them on when did the two of them meet. Wu Chen replies that they both met 3 months ago when his sister was recruiting interns at a university, which amazes Li Ruobing, as even though she did recruit interns at a university, she wonders as to how does Wu Chen know about it. Li Ruotai tries to bring some sense into his sister's mind, telling that she has only known Wu Chen for only 3 months and reasons that in such a short amount of time how she could know everything about Wu Chen to make him her boyfriend. Li Ruotai now questions Wu Chen about his men informing him about Wu Chen being with another girl in the Lotus Bar the day before. Li Ruobing is shocked that Wu Chen was with another girl, but Wu Chen clarifies it to clear any misunderstand that the woman he was in the club the previous night was Mu Qian, who is the daughter of Mu Sihai, and they are the owners of the East China Sea Mu Biomedical Group. Wu Chen says that Li Ruotai should in fact thank him, as if he had not intervened and saved the girl last night in the club from Lu Huzai and his men for trying to bully and harass her. The girl would have become a huge problem for everyone that no one, including Li Ruotai, could stop. We get to know that the East China Sea Mu Group is the leading biomedical group in the region, and Mu Sihai, the girl's father, is worth billions of dollars, who is also the deputy to the National People's Congress with a lot of contacts within the party. Wu Chen tells him that if in case they had a war against the Mu Group, even if the Li family won, they still would have to pay a huge price at the event. Li Ruotai realizes the grave danger he was saved from, thanks Wu Chen for the help. Li Ruobing is impressed with Wu Chen, as he could subdue her brother, who is a person who is not even afraid of anyone, with just a few words. She then stops the matter and tells them that she came for something important to discuss with them. She tells Li Ruotai that someone from the higher up wants to move the Crown Club's control from the Li family, which makes everyone present in the room shocked at what she said. Li Ruotai himself is very shocked at this revelation and tries to deny it, telling her that he himself had taken care of everything in that matter and he would have known about the matter the very instant if it was the case. Wu Chen corrects him, stating that he should not have blackmailed the people with the video he had taken and should have cut all his business relations with Xie Hu a long time ago. Li Ruobing is very furious on her brother, as even after advising him multiple times that Xie Hu is not a good person, he is still in touch with Xie Hu and is working with him. Li Ruotai tries to calm his sister and tells her that he could explain everything to her, but Wu Chen tells him that his sister Li Ruobing is correct in this regard, as Xie Hu is not a good person and that Xie Hu has sold him out this time to the higher authorities. He tells that Xie Hu will put all the blame onto Li Ruotai and frame him, stating it as Li Ruotai's idea. Li Ruotai is startled, as even his sister is unaware of his business with Xie Hu and demands Wu Chen to tell him about who told him about his business with Xie Hu. Wu Chen shrugs it off and tells that he is only there for his sister Li Ruobing and not for him, so he doesn't have to clarify about anything to him, and he will only help him because he is Li Ruobing's brother, and if something happens to her brother, she will get very sad. Li Ruotai gets very angry over Wu Chen's statements and threatens that Wu Chen won't be able to walk out alive of the club if he doesn't explain him about how he knew about Xie Hu and his business. Li Ruobing tries to calm down her brother, but Li Ruotai tells her that he doesn't care if Wu Chen lied to her, but he won't believe in any of Wu Chen's words, as he seems like a liar who cannot even speak his words clearly. Wu Chen starts to explain that only a few people in China know about the matter. It is only 4 months ago that a person who was parachuted into the East China Sea Police Department named Liao Bo came across to handle the Crown Entertainment case. Some investigators had disguised themselves as guests to go undercover while other investigators lurked into the clubhouse and so have collected a lot of evidences against them. He then writes some names on a piece of paper informing Ruotai that it is the list of all the undercover agents regarding the case and hands it over to him. Li Ruotai reads the names and immediately orders his men to buckle up and investigate all the men present in the list, and he also warns Wu Chen that it will be Wu Chen's fault if the names in the list he gave are wrong. Wu Chen calmly goes and sits down at the sofa demanding Li Ruotai of the amount of money they are willing to spend to know the entire information regarding the matter. A little later we see Li Ruotai checking a camera in his hand where he is seen very frustrated as he orders his men to capture all the people in the list at that very moment. Li Ruotai is in utter disbelief and he cannot digest the fact that there are so many spies in his club. Wu Chen cautions them as the spies cannot be captured and that even if one of the spies goes missing, the cops will start acting up as the cops have collected enough evidence against the casino-related things, and so Li Ruotai asks Wu Chen for a solution in this regard. Wu Chen asks him whether he wants to proceed the old way looking for getting jailed or whether he wants to get out of the mess safely. Upon further insisting by Li Rulong, Wu Chen tells him not to send any of his men anywhere and also apologize to him so that he can fix up everything for him. Wu Chen thinks that maybe he should show some respect to Li Ruotai as now he has become the part of their family. Li Ruobing tells Wu Chen to help her brother as they are a family. Wu Chen tells that her brother doesn't consider him as his family. Li Ruotai has no other option. So, he accepts it, saying that Wu Chen sees him in the wrong way and as he sees Wu Chen as a part of his own family. Wu Chen giggles out and we see Li Ruotai apologizing to Wu Chen, saying that he thought that Wu Chen was cheating his sister and so was a bit hesitant. Wu Chen tells that he isn't cheating on his sister and tells that just for the sake of his sister, he is going to give him an idea. Wu Chen tells, firstly, Li Ruotai has to kill Xie, who is Xu, who knows a lot of things and their plan can get ruined if he speaks up. He tells Xie, who often goes to villa number 17 in the Lotus Pond Manor to do Drew-S with his mistress. So, if Xie Hu dies of an overdose, Li Ruotai won't be suspected of Xie Hu's death. Li Ruobing is all cheered up and mentions it as a great idea. Wu Chen continues with the second step, which is to destroy the evidence which is in Liao Bio's hand. For which he just has to get the evidence and destroy it. Ruotai tells he will get Liao Bio, and Wu Chen asks is whether he's crazy because Liao Bio is too big of a person to be taken down. He explains that in a locality called Willow Street, in the 2nd Avenue's Unit 3, there is room number 501. Within that room, under the master bedroom closet is a hidden safe. The password to the safe is 571,564 and the evidence is inside that safe. He further tells that since the investigation was a top secret mission, they have only one main file in order to prevent leaks. So, if they destroy that evidence, they will be good to go. Ruotai is started at such a detailed information that too with the password to the safe. Wu Chen mentions the third step to tell the head of the family about this matter and most importantly, his business with Xie Hu with utmost clarity as they are talking about the Wei family now. We get to know that Li family and the Wei family had been hostile for many years with both sides being in a full-scale war for once. This also led many people from both the sides to get prisoned. This is also the reason why the Li family wanted to get Li Ruobing to get married into the Ding family in order to join forces with them, as the Wei family has an upper hand over the Li family. He tells them to let the Wei family seize the opportunity as they would take advantage to fight with the Li family and to overcome the troubles the head of the family must know about it. Ruotai unwillingly accepts to Wu Chen, but Wu Chen isn't finished yet and continues his final move. He tells to set fire to the Crown Club. A little fire that can make it to the news so that he can justify shutting down the club for redecorating without getting suspected. Wu Chen guarantees that Li Ruotai will be safe if he does all the 4 things he mentioned. Li Ruobing grabs her brother's ears and asks him whether he understood what her boyfriend said or not. Li Ruotai tells her to stop as he has understood everything and will do what Wu Chen said to him. Suddenly, Li Ruotai's phone rings, and upon attending the call, he is shocked as his dealer has lost over 2 billion to a customer in the casino. Li Ruotai tries to take a leave from Wu Chen and his sister to go to the casino urgently, but Wu Chen questions him whether it is Shen Gongjin who is the owner of the Fusheng Aluminum. We then see Wu Chen telling about Shen Gongjin that Shen had arrived in the East China Sea the day before and had purposely cleared all the gambling experts from the city of Macau so that he could take revenge of his previous shame. He tells that they are screwed as status doesn't matter in the casino since Ruotai's and Xiehu's business relied on people to cheat people in the gambling game. The casino works like that, on letting people win at first and latter make the player lose everything. Shen Guangjin had also lost several hundred millions in the casino, leading financial trouble in his company. So, in order to solve the issue, he raised money from other people and got to know that other people had also lost a lot of money like him. So, he went to the Wei family for the help, and when Wei family did their investigation, they found out the secretly filmed tape, and the Wei family seized the opportunity with others to bring down the Li family. Wu Chen informs that under normal conditions, Shen would have not dared to challenge them by bringing a gambling expert to the casino, but he isn't afraid as he knows that Li Ruotai is finished with the issues he is facing. Li Ruotai is furious on Shen Guangjin, threatening to take revenge on him sooner or later. We are then shown Shen and his expert playing at a table, and they again defeat a player in the game. Shen seems to be enjoying the game and getting richer at the same time. Ruotai and team arrives congratulating Shen on having a good hand during the games. Shen tauntingly asks that Mr. Li won't mind since he has won a lot of money today, but Ruotai shrugs it off, labeling it as very little money and he can afford to lose that. Shen mockingly tries to tell Ruotai that the experts in the Crown Club couldn't win against him, and it seems that he has brought a little talent under him to defeat him. Chen denies it and asks whether he would like to play a few games with him as well. Shen laughs it off, mentioning whether Mr. Li is trying to be modest by sending a youngster to play against him in the game. He adds, saying how embarrassing it is for the Li family to keep going on even after losing 200 million against him. Ruotai asks Li Ruobing whether Wu Chen is skilled in gambling as well, but she denies knowing about his skills. We get to know that gambling masters are good at guessing the psychology of their opponents through minimal expressions and their movements. It requires a great amount of experience in the game which young people cannot possess. Shen's expert feels that he can accurately guess Wu Chen's card by just looking at his expressions. Ruobing tries to confirm from Wu Chen if he wishes to gamble, and Wu Chen without any hesitation tells her that he can defeat any casino in the world. The game begins and we see Shen's expert noticing Wu Chen not looking at the concealed cards. Wu Chen bets for 500,000 and the expert seems to call the same. We see this happening through multiple rounds, and we see Wu Chen winning the rounds. Ruotai takes no time mocking back Shen for the expert he hired seems to be running out of his luck. Shen is trying praise Li as he tries to lure Li into his trap. It is seen that Shen and his expert intentionally lose a few games in the beginning to observe the opponent's habit and analyze their opponent's way of thinking, and then incentivize them finally taking it all back from the opponent. Shen knows that since Li Ruotai has lost more than 200 million already, they will not refuse to continue playing to recover their losses, and they will certainly add more chips from the casino side to Wu Chen to win the game. It is round 30 now and the dealer requests to place their bets, and Wu Chen goes for 1 million this time without looking at his cards. Wu Chen goes in for another million and the expert goes all in since he thinks that Wu Chen has a very bad hand and he has a pair of kings. It's almost a win for the expert. Ruotai sees that Wu Chen has a better probability to win but is unsure since the final card is not yet revealed. Wu Chen goes all in, but the expert wishes to add another 100 million as there is very little money on the table. Wu Chen, being confident, raises it to 200 million instead. Ruotai hints the employees to bring the chips to the table and Wu Chen raises the bet by 100 million. The expert observes that Wu Chen's finger position seems that the card is a very important one. Therefore, that card can be an ace which can make the expert lose. So, He folds his bet, trying to mock Wu Chen for not listening to his advice. Ruobing tries to guess whether it is an ace, but Wu Chen denies it, revealing it as the two of hearts. The expert is very furious as Wu Chen had tricked him, but Wu Chen denies it, saying the expert didn't keep up with the bet. The expert has grasped another one of Wu Chen's tactics in the meanwhile, and we see round 31 in play. The expert's bottom card is a 9 of diamond, and since both their hands have the same value of cards, unless Wu Chen's bottom card is a 9 of spades, there is not way Wu Chen could beat the expert. But, since the probability of all 4 nines coming out in one game is very low and Wu Chen doesn't often looks at his bottom card, the expert seems very confident in winning the round. He proposes it to be the round to determine the winner and bets 200 million, going all in. Wu Chen seems unmoved and bets the same. We see everyone getting tensed over the table due to the sheer amount of the bet on the table. Li Ruobing questions whether going all in for 200 million is a bit risky, and her brother consoles her, saying that since Wu Chen has been lucky so far, he sees no problem at the moment. The expert also goes all in and advises Wu Chen that the most important thing while gambling is to not lose his mind. Because if he cannot control his mind, he won't be able to go too far. He confidently plays his card and mocking asks whether Wu Chen considers himself as the god of gambling, that he bets without even looking at the hidden cards properly. With this he joyfully tries to claim that the 200 million is now his. Everyone is shocked as they think the game is now over since the expert has the guaranteed win. Shen teases Li that they won't mind losing such a small amount since they are a very big family, since Li had mentioned it earlier when he met Shen. Li could only accept this without replying, but Wu Chen taunts as to if they are all done and to see the final card in his hand for themselves. The expert is all tensed up, and as he snatches the card from Wu Chen's hand, he is terrified at seeing the 9 of spade as Wu Chen has now won the bet. He tells since it is impossible to read the cards. He asks as to when did he read the cards? Wu Chen asks whether they really thought that Wu Chen didn't look at the cards, and explains that he had been checking his cards every time since the first game. He looked at the cards without their notice. He tells that the expert is a good player but just too egoistic, that he thinks that really figure out his opponent by just playing a few hands, just like how he tried with Wu Chen, and whether his flaw was really a flaw and whether his moves were habitual, that even for a split second he didn't think that Wu Chen could be trying to fool him. He reveals that he had been controlling the entire game since the beginning, in which the expert fell as a prey. Ruotai exerts pressure on Shen, telling him that Shen must be in big trouble since all the money he used were borrowed from others. Shen couldn't believe the situation and orders the expert to walk outside to talk. Wu Chen interrupts them, questioning them as to where they are going. Shen asks Li whether this is how they treat guests and whether they are not allowed to leave the club after losing. Ruotai asks Wu Chen for a reason, but Wu Chen instead requests for a knife to explain everything to them. Wen moves with the knife towards the expert, grabbing the expert's playing hand, and just then the ace of black card falls from within the sleeve of his shirt. He tells the expert that Wu Chen had already noticed that the expert had hid a card up his sleeves when he requested for a card check before the 15th game, and he didn't want to expose him then because he hadn't won then. Ruotai is furious on the expert as he dared to cheat in front of him and asks Shen for an explanation. Before the expert could speak, Wu Chen pins the expert on the table with force and stabs his playing hand with the knife, mentioning him to suffer the consequences of his actions. The expert is seen in immense pain holding his wounded hand, but Wu Chen is unmoved and asks Shen about it. Shen says that he didn't order the expert to cheat and tells the incident has nothing to do with him. Wu Chen informs that he will head out to take some rest and cautions Ruotai to not take any step within the clubhouse. Li Ruobing is very happy as she asks how Wu Chen feels after stabbing the expert's hand. Wu Chen denies liking it, stating that it will feel the pain as when one stabbing their own hand. Li Ruobing thinks of what a monster Wu Chen is, that even after stabbing someone, he is still so calm, and whether he could even kill someone if that were to be the case. We see Wu Chen and Li Ruobing traveling in a car where Miss Li is praising Wu Chen for being so good in cards. But Wu Chen, being Wu Chen, reminds her not to forget to pay him money. Wu Chen observes something and looks outside the car window. When Ruobing asks, He tells her that a car is following them. Soon, she is informed the same by her driver. Li Ruobing tells the driver to get rid of the followers as it must be Ding Rulong's men who sends people to follow her everywhere. Wu Chen knows that it wasn't Ding Rulong and their target was not her but Wu Chen himself. He lays his hand onto hers and comforts her by telling that she need not worry as he would take care of everything. Miss Li thinks that Wu Chen is using this as an opportunity to hit on her but also is impressed as it was a very good move as well. She tells him maybe Wu Chen is hungry and she would give him something good for his help during the day. We see them sitting in a restraint checking out the menu whereas Wu Chen is concerned that people might think of him as their competitor, but she denies telling she wants others to know more about him. We see a gentleman greeting Miss Li who is Mr. Han Deli, the chairman of the Longcheng Innovation Group. She tells him that she is there to eat with her boyfriend as her boyfriend wanted to eat Cantonese food and so she brought him here. Mr. Han introduces himself to Wu Chen and compliments him saying that he is a good-looking man so is the perfect match for Miss Li. Wu Chen thanks him for his compliments and Mr. Han apologizes to interrupt their date taking a quick leave informing that his client has arrived. Ruobing tells that Han Deli is a nice guy and like to make new friends. In addition to it, he is an officer of the East China Sea Chamber of Commerce but Wu Chen tells her he doesn't need her instructions as he knows him better than her. He tells that it seems many people do not want to be friends with her and she confirms it because she has a lot of rivals, especially women who envy her a lot. We see a girl who accidentally meets Ruobing in the restaurant and questions her about when did she start to have a boyfriend. She is Liu Keishu, formerly known as Liu Lejuan. She is 32 years old and is from the Lejuan village from the Irma County in Donghai City. She is married since 7 years with Liu Ganian who is the chairman of the Danghai Julie Group and even has a son since then. With the help of her husband she set up her own business Yongshu Fashion Company and is a competitor to Li Ruobing's company. Liu Keishu mocks Li Ruobing that since she is 27 years old, the young man in the 20s with whom she seems like an old cow eating a young grass. Ruobing tries to defuse the situation by considering it as a joke and tells her to stop with her act. Liu Keishu asks whether she still cares to what other people say and Ruobing gets very angry telling her to stop and was going to just throw her coffee but Wu Chen stops her by grabbing her hand telling to chill for a moment as he will solve it for her. He walks near to the women and tries to analyze her making faces. The girl is irritated and asks as to why is he looking her like that. Wu Chen tells her that it's nothing but Tati has seen her before somewhere. Wu Chen tells that he remembers it asking her whether she worked in a nightclub before.
I've been stuck in my ways, stuck in my ways, stuck in my ways. Smoke a lot of haze, pay is getting it is, but I won't ever change. I've been stuck in my ways, stuck in my ways, stuck in my ways. People start to change for a little change, but I don't think it's strange.